What is up, math superstars? And so, in this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, we're still talking about dividing fractions. And so, here we're going to talk about two different strategies. Our first strategy here is called keep, flip, and multiply. So, when we talk about flipping a fraction, we're talking about finding the reciprocal. And so, these are three things you can do in dividing these fractions. So we're given this equation 1/4 divided by 2/3. And so our first step is we're going to keep our first fraction. So go ahead and write that first fraction down, 1/4. Our second step is we're going to flip our second fraction. So we're going to find the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2/3 now is going to be 3/2. And our last step is we're going to change the division sign to multiplication. So this is very simple. Keep, flip, multiply. And so now the multiplication of fractions apply here. So we're going to multiply our numerators, and it gives us 3. And let's go to multiply our denominators together, and we get 8. So our final answer here with the keep, flip, multiply strategy for dividing fractions for 1/4 divided by 2/3 equals 3/8. So we're going to take a look at the same problem except use a different strategy to solve it. So our second strategy is finding the least common multiple of both the fractions. And so here we're given this equation 1/4 divided by 2/3. And so for our denominator, the least common multiple for our denominator is 12. And so we're going to rewrite both fractions using our least common multiples. So let's go ahead and rewrite both fractions with the denominators 12. We're going to put our division sign there. And so for our first fraction, 1/4, we know that 4 times 3 equals 12. So whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And so whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. So 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. And for our second fraction, 3 times 4 gives us 12. And so whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So 2 times 4 is going to give us 8. And so now we're just going to divide our numerators together. So our denominators, if we do 12 divided by 12, that's going to equal 1. And so we don't have to mess with our denominators here. We're just going to look at our numerators. And so for our first fraction is going to be the numerator to our new fraction, is the way we're going to solve this. And our second fraction, the numerator is going to be our new denominator. And so in solving this with the least common multiple, we know that 1/4 divided by 2/3 is going to equal 3/8. And so you can decide whichever strategy you like the best to use in coming up with a solution when you're dividing fractions. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents Strategies for Dividing Fractions.